Hey everyone, welcome, good evening. It's Monday again, this time every week, 8 o'clock on a Monday. Good to see you, BTFI tribe. Those who are new to the BTFI tribe, hello. It's Richard here. So, good to see you. How's your Monday been? Mine has been super busy meeting some very cool marketing movers and shakers. And some one-to-one time with them. Life feels just really flat out at the moment and relentless. Kelly and I had what felt like our first proper day off on Saturday, which was bliss, not to be driven by an agenda or driving an agenda. So I kind of feel sleep deprived. I've got a sore throat today, so I apologise if I have a coughing fit. So send me, you don't need to send me love, send me the Manuka honey icon. So find the Manuka honey icon and whiz it over. So hey Bethan, good to see you. Hey Zoe, good to see you too. Kelly's on, who else is on? I don't know who else is on because it doesn't seem to show me everyone that's on. Anyway, I hope you've had a great Monday. I hope you are free of colds and are ready to tackle your week. Now, we asked over at the end of last week, we put a question out into the BTFI group about what is it that you folks want? What do people want to be learning about, hearing about? What do you want us to do Facebook Lives on? What are your issues? What are your problems that we can solve? Hey, Julie sent me a little, I think that maybe that's a honey pot. I can't see, got rubbish eyesight as well. Thank you, Julie, appreciate that. I'm gonna have a spoonful as soon as I'm finished. So I asked the question around, so what do you want, what do you need? So if you are watching this on the BTFI page, Richard Tyler page, head on over to the BTFI group full of movers, shakers, game changers, thought leaders, people that want a bit of a step up, some support, some tough love. So come and join us and come and input, come and tell us the stuff you want us to be talking about. This is, I know that a lot of people would do Facebook Lives for their own benefit and they run them because it's their own platform to talk about themselves, and actually this is about you guys, and if we're not delivering what you want, then it's shit, really. So come and tell us and have a voice on what you want. We've just popped the link below, so if you're not a member of the BTFI group, come and hang out with us. We've got all sorts, chocolate bourbons, tea, coffee, Manuka honey. We haven't got any Manuka honey, clearly, which is why I asked for it. So today we're talking about, are you taking care of the simple stuff in your business? Now, I ran an event, I spoke at an event last week at a very nice hotel down in Berkshire called the Elvetham Hotel, and I've never been there before, and it's something out of Harry Potter. It's a beautiful kind of castle building. And my experience of those types of venues is that although they look great, they're not always backed up by brilliant service. It's a bit kind of fur coat and no knickers. And what I found was that actually I arrived and someone greeted me with a smile at the reception, said, "Good morning, how are you? How can I help you?" I'm like, whoa, weird, right? And then they led me through to the room, and there was a man in there setting up the room who was like, "Hello, my name's Philip. Who are you?" I said, "I'm Richard, I'm speaking at the event." "Great, we're just setting the room up. Is this kind of how you imagined?" The guy's going to come over from IT in a minute to set up your AV equipment and get the sound working. And then another lady came over, she said, "Can I take your coat from you? We can hang it up in the cloakroom and maybe I can get you a cup of coffee because it's really early." I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Weird. It was really weird. And I kind of called them out. I started my session and I called out the hotel by saying, "Do you know what? We kind of get really surprised when we have amazing customer service." And actually, it wasn't like anything amazing in that they cleaned my shoes or gave me a red carpet to walk on. They just did the basic stuff. But it's amazing, right? How we have that experience and we're surprised by it. And we go, wow, it's amazing, they care. And I think when we're in that place, as lovely as that is, I think it's a bit shit that we're so surprised. And I think we've kind of got ourselves stuck in this place of what we've normalized with our customer service and our real basic customer care and discipline around just engaging with customers is that it's kind of generally pretty crappy. If you've got views of where you think actually here's somewhere where customer service is brilliant and it's just normal, but we go it's brilliant and we just expect it to be brilliant and we know it is, or if you've got examples of where you think customer service is just really shit, then I'm really curious to hear. But I was quite amazed by this, and then people coming up to me afterwards and we were talking about the session, they were going, yeah, I think you're really right about the hotel. They've been completely on it and they're efficient and their attention to detail, and it's like they genuinely give a shit about the experience and they care. And I almost didn't notice any of the other stuff. I didn't notice whether the place was clean or tidy or whether my coffee tasted really. I didn't even notice that. I just noticed that someone was there creating an environment where it felt like the event could flourish and the people there could flourish. Now, lots of you will have heard me tell the BTFI story. If you haven't heard it, I'm pretty sure I've done a Facebook Live on it. So again, on the page, in the group, there'll be a Facebook Live where I tell the BTFI story. But it's very much focused on how in life do we play the second way? Do we make that journey from being really good to being extraordinary? What's the game-changing flourishes that we look for in our business, in the way we do business, in the way we build relationships? What's the stuff that makes us extraordinary? The standout, the gold dust, the real magic stuff. And that's my area of passion and excitement, and has been for the last 15, 20 years, is going, actually, what's the difference between when it's just really good and we go, wow, it's really good, to it being game-changing, the world-class stuff, on their A game, the piece that differentiates and disrupts and jolts the industry. Now, I'm fascinated by that. And a part of the BTFI story is about how do you play that way. And the first part of the BTFI story is that actually, in order to be able to play like that and have all the flourishes and do the whizzy stuff, we've got to get our real basic, simple stuff in order. So my background as a musician, I got to play, and I still get to hang out with some really cool musicians, jazz musicians, opera singers, a whole mix of people. And when I think about the ones that are extraordinary, what makes them extraordinary is not just about their attitude, is that they do the basics really, really well. So almost in musical terms, their rhythm, the quality of the notes, their attention to detail in the music, the precision of the notes, all of that real basic crafting of being a bloody good musician, they do really, really well. They do it inside out, upside down, with their eyes shut. And once they do that, that can allow them to put their energy into the flourishes. And I've kind of really mindful that in the last few months that we've talked a lot about creating the flourishes. And actually, I felt like today we needed a bit of a sense check and to hold the mirror up to you around, great, spend energy on the flourishes and the cool stuff and the fancy stuff and the creative stuff and the over and above stuff. But get your basics in place. Really understand what they are about your customer service and the quality of the way you engage with people. I'll kind of give you a few more examples in a moment, and I want you to spend some time reflecting on how you show up as a leader. And this might be, you might be in a corporate and watching, and that's okay too. It's still about how do you engage and get the basics right. I did ran a strategy and kind of a whole group and team dynamics event a week or so ago for a big corporate, I won't name them. And what was amazing was that on the second day, they were still very immersed in what they believed was some of the fundamentals they needed to get right were about meeting etiquette. Were things like that people show up on time, actually 5 minutes earlier, and they're ready to start. And that they are disciplined about setting outcomes for the meeting, being really clear at the beginning about what they wanted. And then at the end going, do we review it? Do we review the quality of the conversation? Do we review the quality of how we played out as a group, how we played individually? No, we don't do that. Well, then let's do some of that. And I just it was a bit of a head scratch. Going, really, you're a multi-million pound business, and I'm sitting here with an executive team talking about things like meeting etiquette. And that was kind of just a great reminder to me that that simple stuff that is so basic, a lot of the time we're not paying attention to. I mean, I think UK customer service is an interesting place, right? Generally, I've asked a few of you, I saw there on a post earlier, a comment earlier about, Apple is usually great, BT is usually shit. What an interesting experience that people have that, right? That they go, well, yeah, Apple is brilliant. And of course, once we believe that, we look for all the evidence. And once we believe somewhere is shit, we look for all the evidence to back it up. What do people see when they look at your business? Do they see brilliance? Do they see rigor and discipline around the basics and the flourishes? Do they just see the flourishes like the fur coat with no knickers? Do they just see the knickers, no fur coat? For those of you that have tuned in at the knickers and fur coat moment, you are on the right Facebook Live. Honest, I promise you are. But you blend that with American customer service, right? And some people won't like that because they'll go, yeah, but it's a bit fake. It's a bit of a facade. It's a bit of an act. For sure, sometimes the experience is that it feels a bit done to. And you're a bit like a kind of sausage in the factory being done to. And I think what they do really well is they get the basics in place. Those, even just general welcomes and hellos and smile and how you doing today. And they don't always expect you to answer. I always wrong foot someone. I go, oh, actually, I've had a really bad day today. And they're like, oh. Kind of really disrupts the pattern. But I think we have a long way to go in our UK customer service. We've kind of really lost sight of it is real basics about just treating people with respect and treating them with care and manners and being polite and having awareness and just asking people how we can help them and offering to take their coat or holding doors open. Actually, I can't even believe I'm talking about it. And I know that if I went out into businesses tomorrow and I just went to some shops, that wouldn't be my experience in a lot of places. I'd walk in, I'd be ignored. I know that we had a family member who pays for like a whole British Gas extra winter care thing. And last week we get Beast from the East, which we'd known about for days on end. And they're still going 3 days. How do we get through to a call centre? And we get no response. And they're like, the call centre message is, sorry, we can't take any calls. You're like, it's a fucking winter package. We've paid extra every month to be able to have access to you when there is a problem in the winter. So those basics are not stacking up. That's what I just thought before I came on. I thought of this. Stuart Rose, who used to run Marks and Spencer's, the chief executive of Marks and Spencer's, I know that he used to talk to his team every day about, when we open the doors in the morning, actually it's the curtains opening and the performance begins. And people are stepping onto a stage and they are being treated to a performance, a piece of theatre where we make them feel special. We take them on a journey. From the moment they step in, they're on a journey in somewhere special, in somewhere unique, in somewhere unusual. And we take care of them. And then eventually they will step off of the stage and out. And you go, what a fantastic idea. Because in theatre, it's again such a given. The curtains open and the performance begins. And we treat people in a special way because they're a part of something for 2 hours, 3 hours. And why wouldn't we run a business like that? Why wouldn't we take so much care that each day, whatever your business is, whether it's selling pizzas or a bank or selling curtains, whatever the thing is you do each day, that the curtain opens and the performance begins? And that we go, it's just a given. One of the ladies last week after my keynote came up to me and said, I was really interested. She said, wow. And this was an 8 o'clock in the morning keynote. So it's not that early, but early enough. She goes, wow, you're a morning person. And I go, no, I'm not actually. I'm really rubbish in the morning. She goes, well, then you must drink really great coffee. I'm like, no, I didn't actually. I've had like one little bit of coffee. And she's like, wow, you've got a lot of energy for this time of the morning. And I was really shocked to go, it's a non-negotiable. That energy is like, it doesn't matter if I'm speaking 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the morning. I've done a deal, which is that I need to show up and rock up and deliver this thing. I can't go, yeah, it's 8 o'clock, so you're going to get like 70% because I'm a bit weary. We can't do that in our business. You can't do that in your business. Whether it's your business, whether you work with someone else, whether you work for a bigger organization. I think it's a real inherent arts piece for me about we are duty bound to care and create something regardless of the time or regardless of our excuses. of whether we feel tired or whether we've had enough or whether it's been a bit of a rubbish day. I don't actually care that much if I'm a customer. I go, well, my experience, I want my experience. And I think that's right. I think that's really fair. So, okay, so look, if it works to get a pen and a piece of paper, get a pen and a piece of paper. And I want you to rate where your own organisation is or where you think you are as a leader in terms of managing the basics. I've kind of picked out some of the basics here. I just want you to think, well, we're simple, 0 to 10. 10, I'm killing the basic stuff, the simple stuff. 0, I'm not even there. It's just a check and balance because I know that I can get so utterly seduced by the sexy stuff, which is playing the second way piece, the bells and the whistles and the fur coats. And I want you to get your knickers on the right way round. So the first one that I've got here is about how do you make your customer service work? So how do you deal with unhappy customers? How do you deal with when people have complaints about your business, when they're dissatisfied? What about new inquiries? When people touch you, what's your first touch point? That might be online. It might be a telephone call. It might be a face-to-face. Does it stack up? Again, the number of times I go to someone's website and the website crashes or there's typos. And I go, if that's my first experience, that's really poor. So that first customer service experience is so strong. I emailed someone about something a couple of weeks ago to come and do some work for me, and I didn't get a response for like 5 days. And I had to chase going, did you get my email? Oh yeah, sorry, I'll get back to you. What? That's like, already I've gone, I don't want to work with you. Why would I want to work with you if that's how it goes, right? So you can say that I'm really fussy and I'm really pedantic and I'm a real pain in the arse, and that's fine, and I will be. And I still believe that we are duty bound to offer something decent. So how do you manage your customer service? Where do you put that? 0 to 10. 10 off the scale, 0 ropey. Hi to all the people that are joining. Loads of people taking on. Hey, Yasmin, agree. Yeah, for sure. And you're in a public sector space, again, where sometimes we become used to some really low levels of basic service. When actually we just want the basics taken care of. I'm pretty sure, knowing you, that you tackle that stuff. Things like accounts, finances, and that's about, do you get invoices out on time? Do you pay accounts? Do you pay suppliers? Do you pay them within the terms, or do you push it right to the very, very edge? What about just real basic stuff again about, do you set some budgets? Do you manage cash flow? Do you set some targets? Real core business rigor. Actually, it's life rigor. We picked up on with Tina Weeks a couple of weeks ago about just managing core life finance. Do you know what money you got coming in? Do you know what money you got coming out? But then people go, oh, I've got money problems. And the people that have money problems are the ones that usually pay no attention to it and have no grip on it and have no hold on it. So again, in a business, if you're engaging people to come to you and that you think you're going to provide something, I get a really quick sense that if someone does something like that is a bit shit, so that sending the email, not getting a response for 5 days, having to chase, I go, if that's like that now, what will that be like when I ask you to do some more challenging stuff? So as much as we can excuse it and go, wow, there's loads of reasons, it just tells me a story really early on. And I think if you run a business or you lead a part of a business, you have a duty to tell the story that you want people to experience. If you get up each day and your story is to be shit, oh, I'm going to run a really shit business and give people a really shit service, well then go and do all those things. But don't expect people to come back to you, because whilst what you do, there'll be 100 other people in your road that do the same thing. So they can go elsewhere. We do have choice. We've got to remember that. We have choice as customers to go somewhere else. So for those of you that manage a team or look after a team, actually, even if you don't have a team, you have relationships. How do you go about building and nurturing and building some just rapport and connection with people? How do you do that? How do you set some rules of engagement with people? How do you take time to understand what's important to them and listen to them? And that's about, just even general communication. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. Again, a number of people, I send them an email and they go, yeah, I'm going to do that thing and I'll come back to you. And then I never hear from them again. And you go, did they die? Did something terrible happen? Maybe it did, but I just never hear from them again, which again is astounding. So just thinking about the quality of your communication. And if you commit to something, yeah, I'm going to get back to you, then bloody get back to them. Even if you don't have an answer or you haven't finished that thing. I'm getting back to you, I haven't got an answer yet and I haven't wrapped it up yet. I'm just giving you an update. Do it. Really. God, you can tell that I get wound up by this stuff. Timekeeping. Timekeeping. I mean, just people that then go, oh, yeah, sorry, I'm late. My timekeeping's rubbish. What? Well, then don't be rubbish at your timekeeping. Get a grip. Yes, stuff happens. Do we get caught in traffic? Sometimes we're late? Of course stuff happens. But if we then go, that's the norm. That was the corporate piece, right? They were going, yeah, we're always late for meetings. We always start a meeting 5 minutes late. Well, then maybe don't start a meeting 5 minutes late. Finish the other one early. Yeah, but we book our meetings back to back. So one finishes at midday and the next one starts at midday. And it's like, unless you're a time traveller, how do you go from one meeting to the next? It takes time, right? To pick your stuff up, to walk down a corridor. It's like insane. But again, it's real basic. And yet these people are running businesses that need to do big, whizzy, flashy, world-changing stuff. And they can't actually book a diary and get from one meeting to the next and be on time. It's crazy. And you know what? Although we can't make other people do it, I can't make you guys do it. We can only take care of our own stuff. So whatever is within your control for how you do it, then do it. Be on it. So for those of you that deliver products or services, how do you take the time to understand what your customers want? Do you take the time to get feedback, to know how it's landing, to know if they're happy, to find out how you can improve it? I always do that after an event, after a keynote, after coaching. And the first thing I would do is drop a note in. How was it? How are you doing? The people have got my number. They know they can ring me. Tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. I need to hear. Because I need to know how I refine it. I have a duty to deliver. And if it doesn't work, I need to deliver it differently. Admin and marketing-y things. So have you got a marketing plan? Do you know what your plan is to be engaging your customers, new customers, nurturing current customers? How are you setting time out in your week to do admin stuff? The stuff that a lot of us, it doesn't float my boat. It doesn't interest me doing admin-y things. I hate it with a vengeance. So my strategy is to either give it away to someone or carve out real specific niche time in my diary to do that thing. And do you do that? Do you carve out the time just to simply do some emails, not to get seduced by the exciting stuff? And have it as protected time, not that we go, oh, it's that rubbishy stuff that I don't like doing and lo and behold, I don't have time. Then if it's important in your business and if it's important to your customers, and that might be an internal customer, an internal stakeholder, then give it some energy and make it important enough. Guarantees. What do you do about guaranteeing quality? So if a customer comes back and says, no, it doesn't work, so then what do you do about it? What do you put out there to make it right in that moment, to still nurture a customer, to give them a good experience? What do you set up in advance about what is it they're buying into? What is the expectation that you're setting with them? So all of this is all around, I think, how we just take care of the small pieces that make up the bigger puzzle of how do we connect, how do we engage, how do we be respectful of other people? How do we deliver what we've promised to deliver? How do we get back to people in a timely manner? How do we lay our stall out? Because, you know, that whole experience, that shop window piece, which is now online more than it is a real shop window, is our first sight into how you do business. And how you do something is how you do everything. I really believe that. How you do something is how you do everything. Those small pieces, I go, well, that's going to be the big stuff. So taking care of the small, simple stuff is really important. So I wonder what you gave yourself on your 0 to 10s. Where do you go? You're off the scale 10. Where do you go? I'm a 0. I'm kind of creeping up. Well, what are your customers expecting from you? Are they happy with a 2, a 3? What are your competitors offering? And I've heard people before that justify and go, well, my competitors are just the same, there's nothing better. Well, that's not okay. That doesn't mean we justify and go, well, they're shit, so I can be shit. No, there's an opportunity again to differentiate yourself. Well, I've talked about the Elvetham Hotel in the last week so many times. I commented on their Facebook page. I've commented on Twitter to go, these guys are great. What a great experience. Not just a beautiful place, a great experience. And I'll also do the same when I experience the crap stuff. I'll go, it was really rubbish and people need to know about it. You know, we're way more exposed than we've ever been. The opportunity for people to talk about their experience of us, to put it online, to put reviews out there. They're doing it all the time. So, not that I think that actually makes it more important. I think we have a personal duty just around our own quality to go, I need to put out decent stuff because it is a stamp, is a legacy, is an insight to how you do everything. So, my ask of you is to say, go and be disciplined. Whether you work in a pizza restaurant, whether you work at a checkout, whether you're CEO of a multi-billion-pound organization, whether you're an entrepreneur that has 10 people in his team, whether you're an entrepreneur that has one, whether you work in public health, public sector, private organizations, whatever you do, what's the basic stuff? What's the core stuff that you would say, this is the heart of what I do? Forget the whizzy, game-changing, over and above things. What are the basics about manners, about respect, about managing our time, about how we communicate, about being precise, about getting typos sorted, about just the quality of the text that we put out there, the quality of our emails. Just pay attention to that basic stuff. What is it in your business? What is it in your world? And do something about it. If it isn't up to standard, then you do something about it. We have our three areas that we filter in life: what we control, what we influence, and what we accept. And we've got to get the right stuff in the right pot. So what's the stuff you control? What's the stuff that you influence that maybe you have a team around you that also need to play out and take care of this stuff? And what's the stuff that you accept that you go, that is not mine. That is not mine to fix. And get the right stuff out there. But you will be amazed at the amount that you control. There you go. So, call to action is go and look closely at how you do what you do, and so that you can put your head on the pillow at night and go, do you know what? I've got the basics. They're taken care of. They're signed off. They work. So, thanks for joining. Again, come and hang out with us in the BTFI group. The link's in the messages below. Thanks for all your comments, and good to see some nice activity. Charlotte, it should be an enjoyment to treat your customers with care and quality. Yeah, of course. Because if we do that, then actually they're going to come back and then we keep them as customers. What we run the risk of is if we don't do that, then they'll go somewhere else. Because there is more choice available to us than ever. And if they don't buy it from us, then they'll go somewhere else, of course. And why wouldn't they? So take that bit of extra care, please. So come and hang out with us in the group if you're not already in it. We're a lovely bunch of coconuts and of thought leaders and people and coaches and people that just want to raise the bar a bit, step it up a notch, be even better human beings. Being a human being is quite tough, I think. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night, whatever it holds in store. I'm going to be having a bit of Manuka honey and going to bed because it's only Monday and there's still another at least four working days left of this week. So look after yourselves. Big love to you all. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next Monday. Adios. Bye. Have a good one.